at Florida Avenue in Lakeland, Florida, in reference to a large crowd that had gathered at a local restaurant. While the officers were there dealing with over 200 patrons in the parking lot, they noticed a black Camaro that was stolen and has been confirmed stolen out of Winter Haven by the Polk County Sheriff's Department. As you can imagine, the officers began to approach the vehicle to take the occupants into custody. It was a large, chaotic scene. Lots of people in the parking lot. Officers began to move toward the vehicle, giving verbal commands. The driver of the vehicle noticed the officers approaching. He aggressively began to speed through the parking lot, driving at one of our officers, placing them in fear for their life, along with all the other patrons that began to scatter. Again, this was a chaotic scene, and I would like to say for the record that this is an ongoing investigation. The information that I'm relaying to you are the preliminary facts that I know at this time, but the investigation will continue to proceed into the morning. As the officers approached, the assailant drove toward the officers, placing him in fear, as I said. They responded with lethal force, firing at the vehicle in an attempt to stop the vehicle and protect the officers and all the patrons. The driver ignored that, continued to drive through the parking lot at a high rate of speed, striking several vehicles in the parking lot, struck a light pole, and he ended up south of me, ramming into a parked vehicle and actually knocking it into the bike barn. He hit that car with such force that it knocked that vehicle through a block wall, which caused the airbag to deploy. Just prior to that occurring, the passenger rolled out of the vehicle. She was also taken into custody. She relayed to us later that there was a possible firearm in the vehicle. There has been a firearm located in the driver's floorboard of that vehicle. After the vehicle came to a rest, the officers took a few moments. They were able to get the driver out of the vehicle, and they began to give him emergency first aid. Local EMS responded, transported the driver from this location to LRH, where he did expire. And I'll take any questions that you may have.
All right, well, you were just seeing us wrap up a news conference out of Lakeland after what is described as a chaotic scene. Apparently, police were in pursuit of a stolen car when all of a sudden the suspect started driving aggressively toward one of the officers, putting his life at risk.
Yeah, and that's when the officers fired shots, and we were learning that the driver did pass away. So, of course, this is an ongoing investigation. A lot of details still to come forward in this. We do have a reporter on the way to the scene right now, so we will check in with Lila Gross in just a little bit. But for right now, let's get over to Ed Bloodsworth, who is in this morning for Lee Span.
Some better news this morning. Weather-wise, a pretty comfortable start out there. Max Defender 8 continues to run in a completely clean sweep for us this morning. Your temperatures out the door, 52 right now. Zephyr Hills, Plant City, good morning. You're at 57. It's 59 at St. Pete this morning. Same for Bartow, Waimama, 55. A couple degrees cooler there in Winter Haven. So as we take you through the day, we're expecting a good supply of sunshine through the day. However, I am going to start including a few extra fair weather clouds as we go through the afternoon. They're going to kind of get caught up in this easterly flow, and it will be a bit breezy in some spots today. Maybe the winds around 10 to 15 miles per hour. The other big story, your temperatures. We start our warming trend, a big warming trend, in fact. 74 is your average high, but we take you all the way to 78 degrees, and it will not be long before we start throwing 80s into the forecast. So coming up at 6:08, we're going to take a look at your hour-by-hour forecast and break down this warming trend in greater detail. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Ed. Well, breaking news, Clearwater police are investigating an early morning shootout with officers.
This all happened on the 1400 block of Gulf to Bay Boulevard. We're going to get right to News Channel 8's Corey Davis this morning, who has all of the breaking details. Corey.
Hey, Avery and Gil, good morning to you. I can tell you that a Clearwater police officer was hit on the boot, but we're told that that officer was not injured in a major way, so he refused treatment here at the scene. But I'll step out of the way here. This is Gulf to Bay Boulevard, not far from Cleveland Street, right near Franklin Street. The suspect was shot and killed in the middle of the road here, we're told by police officers. You can see one of the evidence markers. There are just a whole lot of evidence markers scattered across the road here. Take a look at some video. We're told this all started from a woman who was posting to Facebook saying that she needed some help. So officers got here and they were talking to her at the door, we're told. And that's when they say a man started shooting at them from behind the woman who was at the door. Everyone scrambled and somehow it made its way out to the middle of Gulf to Bay Boulevard, and we're told that officers ended up shooting and killing that man in the middle of the road. One officer was hit in the boot but was not majorly injured. But take a listen to a woman, a witness who watched this all go down from her bedroom window. She's telling us that officers shot the man, or excuse me, we have a witness coming up here, but we were told that officers shot a man, after officers shot the man in the middle of the road.
They told him to lay still, and then they shot him again, like 2 times, and then that was it.
So right now we do have a woman out here who is distraught about what happened. It appears that she's just hearing the news about the suspect who was shot and killed in the middle of the road. She's talking to officers right now. I can tell you that 5 to 10 officers were here when everything went down. We're still trying to firm up exactly where that woman is who needed help. She posted to Facebook, and officers say they haven't been able to find her. So we'll keep you updated on any new details and also let you know what happens here at the scene as everything continues to change. Back to you.
Yeah, a lot going on out there. Corey, we'll check back in with you in just a little bit. Thank you. 8 on Your Side investigates a scam on Craigslist. A viewer tells us someone showed up at her house telling her they'd seen her house listed as a rental property.
And she had answered an ad. Someone had posted about the house being for rent with pictures of the interior of the house.
Christy Dale checks Davis Island's home is up for sale. Someone apparently took the photos and descriptions from that listing to make a fake rental ad, presumably to scam people into sending them a deposit. Well, Dale check says she's not the only one in the neighborhood who this is happening to.
We have heard from other people in the neighborhood that have had either their homes listed or people show up to their house saying that they've sent a deposit in and that they were getting ready to move in.
Dale Check reported the scam to Tampa police. She's still waiting to hear back on the status of this investigation.
Well, this morning we are working to find out how much money a Bay Area bartender raised for veterans charities. Ian O'Connell donates the tips that he gets at Sea Critters and Pass a Grill on Christmas Day. And as more people find out about his mission every year, the tips get bigger. In fact, while our cameras were there yesterday, 2 people came up and each gave him $100. O'Connell said this all started 7 years ago when a customer asked what he planned to do with his tip.
I was going to find a veteran cause and donate it. And he said, I'll match you. And the doctor next to him said, me too.
O'Connell is giving this year's donations to Heaven on Earth for Veterans. To find out more about the organization, visit WFLA.com. But needless to say, these grassroots efforts that get started, you know, if every person did that, just think of what a huge difference you could make.
Yeah, and it's just as simple as just a tip. And that's where it all starts.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Certainly, it puts in a good mood this morning.
If we could keep some of these stories going after the holidays, because we hear a lot about them during this time of year, but let's keep it going.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's take a quick check here at 6:08. Temperatures running above average. That's going to be the big weather story going forward. We're expecting, as we wrap up 2018, these numbers are going to be quite warm. Dare we say hot for this time of year. In fact, we're expecting another weak front to come in. That's going to help to bring us some slim rain chances, not much more than that. Not going to bring us any cool air. And again, as we head towards 2019, temperatures will likely stay above average. So hour by hour today, upper 50s to start. We quickly jump through the 60s, aided by a good amount of sunshine. 78 degrees your afternoon high today, under a partly cloudy sky. And again, the atmosphere stays completely dry for us. Feel like taking the boat out today? Well, there will be a bit of a breeze out there coming in out of the east, right around 15 knots, 2-foot seas, a moderate chop, and there is a small craft advisory in effect, especially as you get away from the coast. Let's go ahead and send it over to Meredith Sincillo. She's got a quick check of traffic this morning.
Thanks, Ed. In Clearwater, avoid the intersection of Gulf to Bay and Franklin all the way up to Gulf to Bay in Cleveland. Use Highland Avenue. That's because of that officer-involved shooting investigation. Also in Lakeland, Florida at Memorial, avoid this area using Lakeland Hills, MLK Jr. Avenue. We also have a crash in Lakeland now at Cumbie Road and Idlewild Street. Possible road blockage, and just getting information about a crash in Wesley Chapel along 54 at Oakstead. I'll have more on that in my next report. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Meredith. Well, new developments in the case of 3 people accused of scamming GoFundMe users out of $400,000.
How the company is trying to make it right today.
And thousands of people may have been exposed to HIV and hepatitis A at a surgery center. What a facility is saying that led to this scare.
Plus, a father fighting to heal after getting a brain tumor surgery that left him paralyzed. What he's saying about his recovery in this morning's Great Inspirations.
Register today for the Publix Gasparilla Distance Classic.
Hey everybody, it's Toyotathon time at Stadium Toyota. There's great deals on new Camrys, Corollas, RAV4s, and Highlanders. Toyotathon is Stadium Toyota's biggest sale of the year.
Broken spring? Call Precision Garage Door.
If they're not in the truck, we carry an extensive inventory. We want to be in there. We want to get the job done right. Next time we see that customer, hopefully we'll be at the grocery store.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust. I'm Robert Palmer, president of RP Funding, and I've saved our customers over $40 million in closing costs. With home values being at an all-time high, smart homeowners are using their home equity now more than ever. Your home equity could be the best way to finance home improvements, consolidate debt, make investments, or even large purchases. But don't use your home equity to pay closing costs. Let me pay them instead. Visit rpfunding.com or call today.
It's the Hudson's Mattress Free-for-All. Buy any mattress at Hudson's and get a Sharp Smart TV for free. Bed frame, free. Financing interest-free. Tax-free. It's all free at the Hudson's Mattress Free-for-All.
Model year-end savings are here during the grand opening of West Shore Honda, and that means we're dropping prices, dropping payments, we're dropping everything. During Happy Honda Days, West Shore Honda will do whatever it takes to sell you a Honda. Drive new Civics, $0 down, or $139 a month. New CRVs, $0 down, or $189 a month. All with a nationwide lifetime warranty. When the model year ends, West Shore Honda says, drop everything. Dropping first month payments and APR financing. Hurry, drop by West Shore Honda today. Minutes from everywhere on Dale Mabry across from Raymond James.
Get our biggest savings of the year. New Hondas from $159 a month. During our year-end clearance sale, every Honda is on clearance for less than the competition. From $159 a month. Or save thousands with 0.9% financing. Save on Motor Trend's SUV of the year, the North American Car of the Year, and KBB.com's Best Buy from $159 or 0.9% through January 2nd at your local Honda dealer.
Hey everybody, it's Toyotathon time at Stadium Toyota. There's great deals on new Camrys, Corollas, RAV4s, and Highlanders. Toyotathon is Stadium Toyota's biggest sale of the year.
Maybe the right bank for you isn't a bank at all. Achieva Credit Union. Banking for good.
An update this morning on that powerful tsunami that hit Indonesia. At least 429 people are dead, and authorities expect that number to climb. It happened on Saturday, sparked by landslides and an erupting volcano. As the volcano continues to erupt, people are afraid another tsunami could hit. Dozens are still missing, and 16,000 people are homeless.
This morning, thousands of people are being told to get tested for HIV and hepatitis after being treated at a New Jersey surgery center. Health Plus Surgery Center says mistakes in infection control and sterilizing instruments may have put more than 3,000 patients at risk. The state's health department says the odds of anyone being infected are low, and doctors agree.
I think the risk is very small. That said, I still think there is a possible risk, and I think that anyone who was treated at this surgical center should be tested.
The surgery center is recommending that everyone get tested as soon as possible. Officials say they've taken steps to ensure patient safety in the future.
This morning, everyone who gave money to a fake GoFundMe now has their money back. Last year, video of a homeless man giving his last $20 to a stranded driver went viral. A fundraising page for Johnny Bobbitt raised more than $400,000, but prosecutors say it was all a scheme between Bobbitt and New Jersey couple Kate McClure and Mark D'Amico, all three now facing criminal charges.
Now a great inspiration. You might call it a Christmas miracle. A Tampa businessman's life comes crumbling down after a medical emergency on Christmas Eve. But after years of struggling and keeping the faith, today, Bryan is fully recovered and this week's great inspiration. From putting together multi-million-dollar real estate deals to watching sales of his best-selling real estate book soar, one even making its way into the Library of Congress. Everything was looking up for Bryan Chavis until it came crashing down.
It was like I was tased by 15 taser guns. I almost levitated off the couch.
A massive seizure revealed a large tumor in the motor cortex of Bryan's brain. With no insurance, he struggled to work his way through treatments.
And so I had to live basically from 2012 to 14 with this tumor in my brain, having seizures on a weekly basis, more than, probably 2 or 3 a week. So I can remember having, speaking in Miami, having seizures in the hotel, and then having to go out and speak for 8 hours.
And it would wipe you out. Finally, after years, a Tampa General Hospital surgeon agreed to risky brain surgery to remove the tumor. But it would mean Bryan would be left with complete loss of muscle function because of paralysis.
When I lost my ability to talk and walk after surgery in 2014.
Physically and financially wiped out, things looked so dark, Bryan even wondered if the world would be a better place without him. But as Bryan struggled through recovery, he started to feel a spiritual strength and something higher pulling him through.
You don't just go through it, you grow through it. And that was really what this, I believe this process was all about, was the growth and the rebirth of a new individual.
Today, the woman who, as his fiancée, never left his side, is now Bryan's wife and the mother of his 2 beautiful children, Naomi and Judith. A family now celebrating a true Christmas miracle. So Bryan is back thriving in the real estate business, just relaunching an apartment complex in downtown St. Petersburg, and now just feeling blessed after being given the gift of life. And so, he does all these speaking engagements because he is, a 2-time published author and still doing a lot of real estate deals. And he says really people like to hear about the journey because I think it gives people hope. We all hit these dark spots of life, and it's all about how you get through it.
Yeah, and of course, as he obviously had, you said, everything sort of just taken away.
Right.
In just one fell swoop, but then it's just fighting your way back. And it's very inspiring.